So when you think about real estate, there is a secret language that you need to learn, whether you're selling a house or buying a house. This video is video number 2 in a series I'm calling the secret language of real estate, the secret language of home selling, specifically the secret language of being on the market. What are these terms that you need to know to understand navigating the process of being a seller while you're on the market? That's what we're talking about today, and we're starting right now. I'm Sherri Ann Green with Coldwell Banker. Welcome to my YouTube channel that guides home sellers and home buyers in Washington, D.C. and Northern Virginia. So the first thing to talk about is when your home is marketed for sale, it is on the MLS. That is the multiple list service. And that is the place where all licensed agents go to put their listings, their homes that they are representing for sale. The multiple list service advertises every home for sale in a jurisdiction, and searches can be set up for buyers that pull directly from that MLS. The MLS also pushes to different third-party sites. In the case of Coldwell Banker, they push all over the globe. You'll want to ask your agent how far out your MLS listing will be published. How does that brokerage syndicate that information? It's always going to go to other third-party sites that you are familiar with, but it may be syndicated worldwide, and that can be great if you're in a market that is seeing international buyers or even relocation buyers from across the country. So the MLS is the multiple list service, the official place that all homes are posted for sale by licensed real estate agents, and that data is pushed out to the other third-party sites that consumers may use. While your home is on the market, it will rack up what's called DOM. Those are days on market. And the days on market simply communicates to the public how many days this house has been listed for sale. In every jurisdiction, there is a typical days on market, a typical DOM. And if you start to move beyond that DOM, buyers are going to negotiate with you on the price of that house and more. The important thing to understand right away before you even put your house on the market is what is the typical days on market for a property like mine, so that you can understand the timing that you may be under to receive a contract. Is it going to be quick, or is it going to take a little bit of time because of the uniqueness of your property? So DOM are the days on market. If you're selling your home and you've already done the prep work, which is what video number 1 we've got in this series is all about, the secret language of prepping your home for sale, you probably know what a listing agent is, or you probably know what a seller's agent is, and that's one and the same person. So a seller's agent represents the seller in the transaction, and they are the one who lists the property for sale on the MLS. So you use the term interchangeably, seller's agent or listing agent. And a buyer's agent is just the opposite. The buyer's agent is the one who represents the buyer in the transaction. So most of the time in a transaction to purchase or sell real estate, there is a buyer's agent representing the buyer and a seller's agent representing the seller. Just like in a legal situation, each party has their own representation. On the MLS, we have what are called listings. And what is a listing? That's your house. When your house is put onto the MLS, it is officially called a listing. It is a listing of a home for sale. But the shorter and easier way to say it is your listing went live this morning, which means your house went for sale this morning. So a listing is a home on the MLS listed for sale. We talked about this in our first video on the secret language of home selling, and that is a showing. What is a showing? And a showing is simply a scheduled time for a buyer to come by and see your house. A showing is a tour of your home. Buyers will schedule showings of the homes that they want to see, and your house being for sale will have scheduled showings by buyers and their agents. So a showing is a tour of your home. While you're on the MLS and while showings are happening, you may also have open house events. Now, a public open house, you probably know what that is. It usually happens on a Saturday or a Sunday, and you vacate the house for a few hours. Your agent comes over and sets up brochures and pamphlets and opens the door and allows the public to come in. It's an easy way to allow a lot of people into your house at once. It can be buyers who are already working with an agent and they just have time on a Saturday and their agent doesn't have time to tour with them that day, so they come to the open house. It could also be a situation where neighbors come by because they are always curious about what their neighbor's home looks like. Or it could be a case where we capture people who are just getting started in the home buying process and they are out and about in your neighborhood and they see an open house and they come in. But an open house typically is a public opening of your home so that it can be seen by a lot of people in a short period of time. Another type of open that we do are what's called brokers opens. And those are opens that usually happen during the week. Most of the time they take place around the lunchtime hour. And it is a chance for the agent who is representing the home for sale to invite the broker, the agent community in to see the home. A broker's open is often the first preview of a home, and a lot of times we do this to show the home off to brokers so that they then turn around and call their buyers and say, you've got to see this house. And then they schedule a showing. So a open house is a public open house. A broker's open is typically only attended by other agents, other licensed agents in the jurisdiction. But if a buyer is super excited, they may show up to the broker's open with their agent. And that's always a good sign. When your showings go well, you will receive what's called an offer. And an offer is a written document outlining the terms that the buyer wishes to use to purchase your home. If you agree to that offer, it becomes a contract. Now, you can agree to an offer right out of the gate. Let's say you get an offer and it's terrific and you just want to take it. You can, and that is a contract. You can also negotiate that offer back and forth for hours or days even. When two parties, a buyer and a seller, come together and ratify a contract, that's another one of our secret language words. Ratify is when a buyer and a seller agree to all the terms of the contract in writing. A ratified offer is what we also call a contract. And that is what you follow all the way through to closing. There are a lot of new terms when you go to sell your house, and this short video on a few of the terms you may not have known about were related to while you're on the market to sell. I've done an entire series on the secret language of real estate, specifically related to selling your house. Video number 1 was related to getting your house ready for sale. This video, as you know, because you watched all the way to the end, thank you, was related to while your house is on the market. The third video in the series is the secret language of real estate as it relates to selling your house, as it relates to being under contract. So make sure you watch that video too. There are a lot of things to know about when you go to sell your house. Watch this video next. I think you'll also find it helpful to the home selling process.